Hey, Devon, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jason. It's good to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you on. Tell us who you are, what you do.
My name's Devon MacDonald. I'm an owner of Cairns O'Neil, a media agency based in Canada that services North America. I'm the president of the company and agency and love my job.
Awesome. And so, what's your background? I know you've worked for other agencies in the past. Like, how did you get into the agency world?
Yeah, I did not expect to be here. I have teenage kids who are talking about college and university and what do I do and when. And when I started, I was a computer programmer in the 90s. And I worked for consulting firms. I did website and database design and worked for consulting firms. All my clients ended up being sales and marketing departments. And so I went into the creative world first, doing digital strategy and digital work. Ended up running a creative agency for one of the major holding company networks, but realized all the data and information was on the media side. So I switched to the media world and ran a media agency network for a different network. But it lacked the entrepreneurial spirit that I was looking for. And so I find myself here. I've been running the agency for 5 years now and love being an independent and love shaping a business.
What was the programming language that you started out with?
I mean, if we go way back, I knew
Was
how
it
to do
COBOL?
basic, which is
Oh,
line
basic.
10, line 20. I was a really good C++ programmer. I was good at modules and module design, but I focused mostly on HTML and SQL. And SQL is still widely used today, maybe not as wide with AI and whatnot, but I really understand how data structures work from that. And I don't think I could code anything anymore, but I understand how a lot of the systems work because of it.
Yeah, I had a programming degree, and I got a job as a programmer out of school working with Arthur Anderson in the '90s. And but I was the worst programmer in the world because I paid people to do my work in college, and but I understood the logic, but I always had issues with syntax and like especially like open a bracket, close a bracket, open a quotation, close a quote. Like I'd be like, oh, this like I couldn't. I would always I couldn't debug my own shit. And so now with
Yeah.
AI, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Well, it literally is its own language, and they're all unique and they're all tricky. And, you know, that side of language and programming, if it wasn't perfect, it wouldn't work. And debugging tools didn't even exist all the time back then. And so you wouldn't really know what worked or get a fault or an error code, and you wouldn't know where to go. It was quite troublesome. But yeah, with AI now, it'd be very helpful and much easier to do.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's great. It really makes things easier and lets people build tools really simply.
Yeah, the compiler, man, the compiler and I did not get along. For everyone listening, if they've never used the compiler, is basically taking all the code that you wrote and then tries to make it work or run or execute. And so if there was any kind of syntax or any kind of errors, like it would just go, they failed.
Yeah. And it would kick you out and you'd have to start over.
Oh yeah, I had a love hate with that, and then that's when I went into graphic design. I was like, this is much better.
Well, um, and that could be more fun and satisfying because you get an output from it, right? Some of the hard part with programming at the beginning is it was hard to build things and it was hard to see the fruits of the labor,
Yes.
whether it was in a database work or website work or just writing a script to answer a question or whatnot. It was very different. But I'm glad, you know, again, back to how I got here, I'm glad I had that foundation. It really served me well in the creative world and now in media.
Well, definitely. I mean, it's because everything now is all you have to understand the logic behind everything, right? In order to,
Hmm.
like, especially, I was talking to the mastermind a little while ago. AI is amazing. It's a great resource for all of us and to do. But if you don't, like, AI can lie to you and mislead you on a lot of different things. If you're already not an expert at something and you have AI do it, how are you supposed to verify that? Like, I had it do some bookkeeping for me and it totally screwed up my books. And I wasn't a good
Yeah.
bookkeeper, right? Like,
Well, I think one of the flaws of AI, or paying someone to do your homework respectfully, is
yep.
you lose some of the critical thinking skills, the foundations of how to build and to test and to know what's right. And it's one of the flaws that exist in AI where people really trust it and over trust it. I read an article a month ago or so where doctors now spend most of their time re-explaining things to patients because the patients have diagnosed themselves with AI and 90% of it is wrong.
Yep.
So
It's the
I
same thing
really
with
worry about
agencies.
same things with agencies. Yeah. I really
Clients are
worry
taking
about
all our agency
applications in
work.
business.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they're taking all, like, that's a huge discussion that we're having within the mastermind right now is people are like, well, how do we, like, our clients are running all the stuff, like, they'll send us these long emails that were put together by AI, which are all wrong. Or they'll have, or the clients have AI going into their Facebook accounts or YouTube channel and doing all these edits and screws it all up.
Yeah. It's a tough situation. And I think there was already a education deficit that existed in marketing. I think there was a lot of performance marketers or digital only marketers who came into power or came into roles of significance and skipped a lot of steps around understand marketing in different pieces. And now with AI, it compounds those errors and amplifies them.
Mhm.
And yeah, you end up with emails with 100 questions. Maybe they're relevant, maybe they're important, but just because you can have a high volume of output, either as an agency or as a client, doesn't necessarily mean that you should.
Yeah. Well, I tell everybody, look, if your agency's not running well now, adding AI is only going to amplify it. You have to have the right systems. You have to have the right people, right? And all those people that are saying the agency is dead because of AI and clients can get right to it, they're full of shit. They're just selling headlines and all of that. There will always be agencies. There will always be people. Your roles may be different, right? Like when I started in
Mhm.
99, there was no web designers or web developers. Those are new roles, right? And that
Yeah,
was a whole new industry. I still can't believe that was only 26 years ago or 27 years ago, and how fast the whole world has changed. And AI is only going to amplify that.
totally agree. Technology has never solved a flawed problem. It can help improve something, but it might amplify something that's worse. And I heard someone at a conference the other day say that the funnel is dead because of AI, and I vehemently disagree. I think the funnel has accelerated and the path to purchase for consumers has changed because of AI. But from a marketing perspective, I still believe that you have to create awareness around a product, you have to create some sort of attraction, and you have to get to an acquisition or purchase. And AI, again, can accelerate that, and the changes to search or the changes to how websites are served is completely different. But it hasn't eliminated marketing, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's it's pretty cool though of what in the past couple of weeks I've built some amazing websites doing amazing things. But I think I was only capable of doing that because I had the logic and the know-how of what goes into amazing website, right? Like I was able to go like, well, here's kind of the imagery that I want. Here's the mission that I want this website to do. And then the first output was completely garbage, which most people would accept. And then I was able to refine these websites. And I almost treated it, and I told everybody that I was, because I was like, I'd go to my wife, I'd be like, hey, check out this website I did. And she'd be like, okay, yeah, that's okay. I'd go to like some of the team members, yeah, that's okay. Like they weren't geeking out with me because I remember how hard it was and how long it took us to get to a point to, like these were like $50,000 websites I would have charged for, that I was able to create in like an hour. But then I started thinking, going, took me 26 years of all the knowledge I had to build up to put into this model to go design these things versus some Joe Blow, off the street will just put in and get like a front page website design, right? Remember front page?
Yeah, I remember front page, and then maybe Wix would be a little more recent.
Mm-hmm.
One of my first things in the 90s was building uh, a website that allowed for B2B transactions. It was refilling and reordering of ink. And that seems boring, but it was a pretty common business problem where you have a printer and it's the same, and you need the cartridge and that's the same. But back then, connecting inventory systems and part systems and finance, it was wild. It was very hard. I'm thrilled that there are tools now that you can build a website in 20 minutes or less, probably. But as you said, the knowledge that you have, and people use the phrase prompt training, but it's giving the knowledge about the specifics about exactly what you want it to do. And the more specific you get in your instructions or prompts, the better the output will be, as with any sort of work effort or any sort of product that you do.
Yeah, one of the things I started doing, I think that you'd like, is I started kind of building my own file structure, kind of my own operating system for AI for any model to go to. So like I would
Mhm.
build a context folder, and then like anytime I would direct it, like anytime I ask for business, go into this folder, or anytime I go into marketing, go to this swipe folder for past files or success stories, and I've just really been trying to architect the file structure that's right on the local computer to get the best models, because I always found
Mhm.
like when you mentioned kind of like prompting, like I don't want to have to prompt the damn thing every single time for all of this. I want it to kind of like, it's artificial intelligence. I want it to kind of decide, like, based on what I asked you, where
Mhm.
should you actually go, and kind of extract out all my knowledge, which, what do we use? What, 5% of our brains? I probably use 2% or whatever it is. Like all of my experience, all the knowledge over the past 13 years in this particular business, put it into this file structure and then give it to my team so they can be more efficient. I think that's the real power of it.
It really is. It flattens it and it takes your information and helps inform the questions your teams are asking and gives access to people. I've heard of people who do the similar thing with building agents that will mimic themselves or other personas and using that as sounding boards. Organizing information and doing agents to access things is amazing. But the real power is it can learn and to say, what should I do differently or what can I improve? And that's the real intelligence part. But those base components need to be there. That base
Mhm.
information, the base structures about your specific business or specific challenge. Please let it be in a private environment if you're putting client information in there. But it's a super smart way to use it, and the capabilities are really exciting. But you have to, like any good tool, you have to know how to use it.
Yeah. Well, and there's so much bad information out there from so many people of like they experiment it with for like one day, and then they put a video out like, here's how I replaced the agency in like one thing. I'm like, no, 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 dude. Like, I can't tell you, like, I hardly watch any videos anymore just because I'm
Mhm.
like, this is wrong. just by doing it. Like I'm like this, no, like, and it's just speaking high level and just trying to gain followers or watch time or whatever the algorithm says it wants, and it's I kind of get burned out on it sometimes. You ever feel that way?
I avoid content like that for sure. And I worry about um, teams or clients being informed about that and asking questions that are completely wrong
Yeah,
because they read something or they saw this or they saw that. So now, in an agency, could really have to pivot quickly down the wrong path at a client request. And so we have to teach our people and our clients about smart questions, objectives, strategy, what is your vision overall, and make sure we align to that. Because there's so many distractions and misnomers and tips on how to gain followers or
yeah.
make something viral that yeah, that are wrong.
How are you educating your team to educate your clients?
For sure. Things get to move really quickly. We get access as a media agency to a lot of different partners and a lot of different technologies. You have to stay hungry. You have to stay curious. You could spend the entire day learning, but then you wouldn't get any work done.
That's right.
But I call agency work accelerated because we get to work across all of our clients and really see how things are happening for each campaign, for each client every day. One thing we see quickly coming up on RFPs now is all around LLM or model optimization. Branded search is going away and lower funnel search is going away and being replaced. We saw this early on for ourselves and saw how our own content was informing it, whether it was early on with Microsoft telling us what they were going to do on LinkedIn. But the agency needs to learn itself. This is very new. Yes, it's been around for a couple of years, but agencies get to accelerate their learning again because we have so many different clients and projects on the go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I always tell everybody I think we're perfectly positioned for this error because we're all creative, we're innovative, we're curious, we're not
Mm-hmm.
afraid of technology, right? And I think in order to run an agency, you have to be resourceful because we're used to being pulled in so many different directions. And it's just the perfect recipe for using AI versus like if you were a plumber, you're like, I'm not getting on social or right, like like you're curious and you're curious about fixing that leak or whatever it is. But with the creatives and the technologists, right, like we've kind of grown up through it. Or not kind of grown up, maybe kind of, because I didn't have a cell phone until I was in college or after college, actually. Right? Like,
Yeah.
so like I remember the world well before the internet, which sometimes I wish I could go back.
Mm.
It was a,
Well,
it
you
was,
mentioned graphic design and think about your work early in your career and even having InDesign or Photoshop
mhm.
and what a revolutionary tool that was. But you had the basic skills and you understood design elements and principles and equations. Taking that into an AI environment and adding that into content and content output, what it means for DCO and structures, you still have to have those foundations. And so, yes, we can produce more content. I don't know if it's the right thing to do all the time, but those tools can certainly help you accelerate it.
Yeah,
And every space, I do believe agencies are well positioned because of the curiosity and hunger and willingness to try.
yeah, yeah. You just got to kind of roll your sleeves up and actually do it. Like you just can't
Mhm.
read about it. You can't watch a video about it. Like literally, you just have to go give it an outcome, treat it like someone that, right? Like don't just chat with it. That's the aggravation I have, and I've tried to train my team, and my team now is really proficient in it. I'm like, give it an outcome, see what it comes back with,
Mhm.
but you have to give it all that context and that framework that I talked about in the very beginning. and it's pretty amazing. And I always tell everybody, AI right now is the worst it will ever be today at this moment. And we'll just keep getting better and better. So whatever your frustration because you went to a chat and it gave you an answer you didn't like or was wrong, great. It won't ever give that to you again. But
Right.
to keep getting better and better, and just be excited about it. But we all have to evolve toward it, just kind of like as the internet came. I was telling someone, and I was speaking to a large audience a couple of weeks ago, and I was telling them when the internet came out, I was real excited about it. Versus when AI came out or kind of really got momentum, I think a lot of people are
Hmm.
worried about it. Maybe I was a little worried about it. And I think the difference is because we had something to protect
Hmm.
and we didn't want to have to kind of change. And when I was like, screw it, like I got nothing to protect anymore. Like whatever, like I'm curious, I'm innovative, all this kind of stuff. Let's just adapt it and see what we can create with it because the world changed. And it's pretty exciting. And the other people that won't change, well, good luck. That,
Yeah. If
blockbuster.
you're in a position of defense and you're trying to resist, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
It is here. Grandmothers use it, CEOs use it, grandchildren use it. And it's really influenced so many pieces of our life. One thing it reminds me of, though, mentioning earlier on having a base skill, the thing I do worry about, as an analogy, I talk about no one knows where they're going anymore because people just look at Google Maps. Before, when we were
You could
going
read
somewhere,
maps.
you had to figure out where you were going and you needed directions. And I do worry about loss of skill within an agency. If you don't apply critical thinking or frameworks or have a process to apply to a client problem, I believe in acceleration and I believe in embracing it. But we took a cross-functional group of people to become our AI team. Yes, there's some highly technical people and some data people, but there's some non-technical people as well, because their inputs about culture and consumer and user experience are just as important in the application of it and how we're going to apply it to clients. That we still are paid for advice and paid for services that we have to have and we have to be able to give. And it can be a great accelerant. So you're completely right. You can't be afraid of it. You have to embrace it. Like any technology, if you're a designer using InDesign, you have to use it.
But yeah, it could definitely be a crutch.
It could
um,
be a crutch. We've all seen those LinkedIn posts. Here are the 10 tools I use, and I no longer need an agency. Okay,
mhm.
well, I I applaud the effort,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's going to replace agencies because of the critical effort required and
Yeah.
that critical thinking that's the base of our work and the trust that comes from that.
Well, people want to deal with people. I mean, how many times do you I my my family laughs at me when I call like the pharmacy for a prescription
Hmm.
and I have to go through that
Hmm.
automated bullshit. And they
Hmm.
just go, they can see the steam coming out of my ears and my eyes turning red and me gripping the phone wanting to throw it because and my voice just keep going like louder and louder. I'm like, I said, well, this, like I start cussing at it like it actually knows what I'm doing. And it's just like I want to deal with a person. Like how many
Yeah.
times do I just say operator, 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 like person, just because I want, like I interviewed someone a little while ago, or this week that used to work for the Oprah show, and I
Hmm.
asked what was the secret success of Oprah and the Oprah show, and she would always say people want to be heard and seen.
Hmm.
Think about
Well,
that.
the best relationships are personal relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're of the same genre, and I too prefer walking into the pharmacy or just talking to them to refill a prescription.
Yep.
But there's a lot of people younger than us who grew up more comfortable with digital relationships and have anxiety from picking up the phone or don't know how to use a phone. I get a phone
Yeah.
call.
Yeah.
point of view.
Yeah. You're not talking about the rotary
And
phone, right?
right, rotary phone, or even just the practice of communicating someone, speaking without seeing them, or or just using the phone as a piece of technology. That group of people are the future leaders and future marketers of tomorrow. And we have to coexist, and marketers need to provide for both cohorts or all cohorts in technology and recognize that, okay, Jason wants to talk to the pharmacist, so let's make sure we can press 0. But someone else wants to talk to no one.
Yep.
So let's make sure that we have a website available with a secure login where I can go and refill it, or an app, and I can just move on. Or better yet, we're just going to make them pay an extra $5 to auto refill every month. The spectrum of services required and demand on a brand is so high because the spectrum of technology and the applications is so
Yeah.
wide. And to your point, today is the worst day for AI, and in 6 months, whatever next Claude version comes out or whatnot will be even better.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Well, Devon, thanks so much for coming on the show and chatting with me today. Thanks for dealing with the technical issues that we had in the very beginning. And for everyone listening, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe, give a comment, like it, share it. And until next time, have a swank day.